My friends, I've got a treat for your eyes tonight. It's the Cosmic Stew ES-335. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. That's right, this is another one of the mod collection guitars, and I just had to pick this up because Cosmic Stew has to be one of the most iconic colors out of the mod collection. But the mod collection is where Gibson takes their factory seconds and they breathe new life into them, whether that's completely refinishing them, just changing out some parts, or selling them as is throughout the Reverb demo shop. When Gibson first started to do this, one of the earlier ones was an SG with a Melody Maker style vibrola on it. Then they also did an SG Tribute with the dark circle on it, the Les Paul Studio with Mars up by the toggle switch. There was also a 335 Studio that had the trapeze tailpiece modified to have two humbuckers instead of just the one dirty fingers like they normally look, and those have the baked maple fretboard. We actually documented that one in this episode. But all these look a little bit different, so even though we've kind of already reviewed a similar guitar, I'm glad I picked this up. This is a much more predominantly blue and purple finish. It's a little bit less dark than the other one we had documented, and we don't have like the lime greens going on. And namely, it's a full-on 335 that's a little bit more traditional, with a rosewood fretboard this time. And we still have the matching headstock, but we've got some additional inlays up here. Wait till you see the back. They also did the treatment here. And there's some silver and gold glitter flake within this as well to really sell the effect. Also, I'm 100% sure whoever did the paint job did this intentionally. Look at that. Smiley, nose, two eyes. That's just goofy. I like it. And of course, a similar paint scheme up and down our neck. No crazy stingers or anything like that. Unique to the neck, you have some clusters of like a silver sparkle, kind of like what we were talking that was strewn about in other areas. There's just some more clustered areas of it on the neck. I like these little purple splots along the edge. And on our other side, we get a little bit of blue. But this started life as a gloss ES-335, which currently on Gibson's website, those will run you $34.99 brand new. Offered in 60s cherry, vintage burst, as well as vintage ebony. Now if you're curious what this one cost, it was $3,999 plus tax. So they definitely put a premium on the finish, but honestly, I thought that was a really good deal. That's why I picked it up to review and document. And then maybe see if there's some cool trade fodder for this, because people love Cosmic Stew. So besides our unique finish here, that's pretty much where the differences end. But let's see what else they include in the purchase. We got a hard shell case. It's one of the more modern Gibsons. Poor Gibson was having a rough spot a couple of years ago with their cases, but they finally evened out to something that I feel is a nice compromise that represents the new era well. Like we've got our logo on here, we've got our square latches. It has a faux leather-like vibe to it without feeling cheap like some of the older ones did. And as far as our interior, it's just black. It's got heel support, double neck rest. You have a little case compartment in here, which consists of your warranty evaluation, which, hey, we've got a new pamphlet in there. I haven't seen one of these before. It basically just tells you where to go to sign your guitar up for warranty. If I remember correctly, these mod collection ones only have like a 1-year warranty. Then you also have this little checklist where they tell you everything that they deemed wrong with this particular one. And then we get a modified COA. It's only half a booklet for these mod collection demo shop guitars. The case keys. And this one still retained the Gibson strap. So let's go ahead and throw this one on the workbench to take an individual look at its parts and specs. Let's dive into our cosmic friend here, starting with our pickups. We've got the calibrated T-type in the neck, as well as the bridge. I'm not gonna lie, when I bought this guitar, I thought those were special pickups that were just put in here, but no, that's what they're running standard nowadays. Stylized after the old 70s T-tops. Our neck reads 7.17 k ohms, bridge position 7.5, and middle, just for fun, 3.66. Take a look at how clean these cavity routes are, completely absent of finish, and usually have a whole bunch of splintering going on. They really cleaned these up nicely in the mod collection. The same thing is true in our bridge pickup cavity. You can tell where it was splintery, but somebody had sanded it down. It's almost like they were scared I might buy this one and document it. 335s have interesting construction. Right here, you see the 3 layers of wood. That's a maple poplar maple sandwich that they glue together, and then they press it to form to create this belly shape. Then they do the exact same thing for the back and the edges. To support that, you have the spruce bracing, which joins onto the maple center block. That's what we're seeing right here, and then you get the continuation of that on the back. So there are many layers of wood within a 335. It's not like an L5 that has a legitimate carved form top. The bridge is the Gibson USA ABR1, which means it's a real ABR1. It's just mounted to the body just like a Nashville-style bridge, though. It has the modern hex key adjustments right here if you don't want to use the thumb wheels. And we have our lightweight aluminum tailpiece, Advanced Plating Incorporated branded. But they didn't do anything crazy with our controls. It's just 2 volumes, 2 tones, 1 set for each pickup, and then you have your 3-way selector switch for bridge, neck, and middle, with our output jack located on the front. Now we'll take a look at the finish. Varying up the lighting situations kind of helps you see what it looks like in person. So a lot of blue here, some purple spats over there. Really trying to show you that silver sparkle coat that's over top of all of it. It's real easy to get lost in this one. And it's definitely one of the brighter colored Cosmic Stews that we've seen. Sometimes they get a bit too dark. Then again, sometimes it's fun when they are darker, because then when you hit it with the light, that's when everything comes into play. But this one displays greatly. A couple of small things I noticed. The F-hole has a lot of junk along the inner edge of it. What it almost feels like to me is like a lip of the clear coat lacquer, kind of got bunched up or something. Then over here where the neck joins to the body, there's like a finish buildup. But that's to be expected on a mod collection guitar. Oh, and did you notice I took the pickguard off? This is one of those ones where it kind of looks good both ways. It would have been interesting had they had painted the pickguard Cosmic Stew style, but left the white and black edges. Another thing that would have been fascinating is, please, mod collection guys, take the Cosmic Stew finish and do a lacquered fretboard. So far, the only time they've ever been brazen enough to do that was with bigger red, which we documented in this episode, and that was just a red finish over top of a rosewood fretboard. And keep your inlays. Maybe even play around with them, make them the planets. That would be a lot of fun. I can't wait for the day that they give us a Cosmic Stew Les Paul custom. Now that's probably a guitar I would keep in my collection. But we've got 22 standard frets, dot inlays. You can see some minor tooling marks around the edges and on the board. That's to be expected, unfortunately. I capture a nut width of 1.73 inches and 212 by the 12th. First fret neck to have 0.92 and 0.99 by the 12th. That actually seems rather large. Interesting. Didn't notice that before. Here's that neck at the 1st fret and the 12th fret, nice and rounded. Now, I really like this headstock. Take a look at your truss rod route. You still get to see the mahogany wood grain, and that kind of reddish color actually matches pretty nicely with the Cosmic finish. But as we were talking about earlier, you can still see your inlays, and they masked those off beautifully, which I would imagine would have taken some time to do. But I did notice there was a small area right here where the sparkle silver kind of runs up along the binding. You won't be able to see it here because you have to get the light reflecting at just the right angle. Then we've got our Clusen tuners. Moving on to the back, ES-335s, they fish all the electronics through the bridge pickup cavity and utilize the F-holes to help them get where they're supposed to go. So that means you do not have to utilize any type of backplate, and it makes it a little bit trickier to work on these. But it gives you a nice clean backside. But man, that smiley face really does just stand out in camera. In person, like, you don't even notice it unless you're really trying to look for it, but it matches for our Spooky Guitars month with that. Just nice, sparkly sides with our strap buttons in our usual locations. I'd be real curious why they decided to only put these silver sparkle bunches on the neck. I wonder if they were just trying it out. They sprayed it here and decided, nah, I don't really like it. I think it would work better if they were more spread apart. Or wouldn't it be funny if just their spray gun got a little bit too excited in some locations, so they just let it go, or cleaned out the tip after they did the neck? I guess that could explain it, since we just see it very lightly over everything else. Nowhere near as concentrated, especially around this tuner. But we do still have our serial number here. Gotta get it in the light to see it, but it dates to 2023, 37th day of the year. All said and done, our galactic friend weighs 8 pounds, 5.7 ounces. Let's go ahead, plug it in, and hear how the universe sounds. Now let me know all about the Cosmic Stew proper ES-335. What are my final thoughts on this thing? Such a great color. Glad I could document another one because every one's just a little bit different. We don't have any spooky planets on this one, which I've come to actually prefer on these Cosmics. Now as far as the tones, I actually really like these T-type calibrated pickups. They've got a little bit more of a vintage warmness to it. It was a very rounded tone within the room. Now whether that comes across in the recording or not, I'll leave that up to you. YouTube compresses everything. But I hope to see more of these Cosmic Stews come out of the mod collection because it's like the quintessential mod collection finish in my opinion. It's the one that a lot of people remember. So alright Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you're interested in being the next owner of this one, you can find it on my website, troglysguitarshow.com. Alright, take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.